Hezbollah is back. Hezbollah is back, and this is a big blow. But before I talk more in details, just want to play this message from none other than the monster himself. This is what he said very, very, proudly.
הערב אביא לאישור הקבינט מתווה להפסקת אש בלבנון.
Okay, so basically he's saying here that today in my cabinet we brought, or I have approved, an outline of ceasefire with Hezbollah. So he made that announcement. What a pity. What a pity. Why? Why I'm saying that? Well, if you do not know, before they went into Lebanon, they made a lot of noises, a lot of them. Take a listen. So Business Standard, they have published on September 21st, Israel vows to eliminate Hezbollah threat. Following, then New York Post, Israel vows to eliminate Hezbollah drone unit after rare. Then you have the Hindu, Israel vows to keep fighting Hezbollah until victory, rejects peace deal. Then the Times of Israel, Israel vows Iran will pay for Hezbollah attack. Then on BBC, Israel strikes target Hezbollah-linked financial association. Then Washington Post, hundreds dead in Lebanon as Israel vows to continue the fight. Oh my God, they're going into Lebanon. They're going to be eliminating all threats. They're going to be destroying Hezbollah. They found tunnels. They found underground banks of Hezbollah money, jewelry. Oh my God, they're gonna be really pounding on them. And then all of a sudden you see this kind of announcement from this monster himself.
I
have approved an outline for ceasefire with Hezbollah. So in other words, guys, they make a lot of noises. The Zionists, one thing you'll notice from them all the time is hyperbolic statements. They knew from the beginning they could not win an inch of land in Lebanon. They knew it, that they will be defeated. How they knew it? Well, they knew it from Gaza. Still they're fighting there. They knew they cannot win in Lebanon. They cannot win against Hezbollah, let alone winning against Iran. And all along, Iran was right. Iran said Israel is not going to be fighting us. Why? Because they are not that big of an army. They're not that big of a deal to confront us. And we were never preparing to confront Israel because Israel is tiny. It's a puny little minuscule army with a diaper on them. Iran prepared to fight against US. So they cannot fight Israel, the Zionists. They cannot fight Hamas. They cannot fight Hezbollah. They lose every single battle. In 2006, when they fought against Hezbollah, that was a big defeat. This time, this defeat is even much more shameful. Because of social media, now people can see the defeat with their own eyes, unlike in the past. Now, I want to, in order to prove my points, I also want to discuss this particular video comment from an analyst who says that this is a major blow to Israel. Take a listen.
For 14 months, which is unprecedented. They've never done this, and they've been fighting in some cases against attacks in their own country, in Israel, in Tel Aviv. This is all unprecedented for the Israelis. They're really keen on a ceasefire. The problem for Israel is that it has not achieved any of its major goals in Gaza or in Lebanon.
It has not achieved any of its major goals in Gaza or in Lebanon. Now, I will play the video more in a second because I think that conversation is important. Now, this is coming from someone who, his name is Gideon Levy. He said this ceasefire is actually a defeat for Israel because they have not achieved anything.
Yes, I wish I could tell you that Israel is happy about the ceasefire. I wish I could tell you that there is even a relief in Israel, but unfortunately in Israel, almost everyone is critical about this agreement. I guess many Israelis did not have enough.
Okay, so basically he's saying, Gideon Levy, that I wish I could tell you that Israelis are very happy with this ceasefire deal. He said, I wish I could, but they are not. And all of the Zionists, they know this is a big, big defeat. They have lost hundreds, if not thousands, of their soldiers or terrorists. They have invested huge amount of money, effort, time, everything you can imagine. Some reports claimed the number of Zionist terrorists who took part in this Lebanon operation was around 80,000. I think that is more than that, maybe 100,000 plus. And we have seen pictures and photos, videos on social media, Israeli choppers carrying the deceased soldiers back to Israel. Israel was hit, their headquarters, intelligence headquarters, including Netanyahu's residence, was hit directly by Hezbollah. They have lost a lot. They came under this attack like missiles. They were raining on them every single moment. They had to go to the bunkers, shelters, panicking. The sirens will go off, buildings will be damaged, people will be killed. And then we have also seen how Hezbollah's drone was able to strike inside of the Golani Brigade when they were having dinner and killed 4 soldiers. So these are all big loss for Israel. And now they're calling a ceasefire, means it is a total defeat. They cannot take those hits, those missiles, those projectiles from Hezbollah anymore. And so Netanyahu was like, we are not going to be winning it. And his army, his military, they were getting fed up, because this war was a war without a compass. According to Yoav Gallant, the monster, the war minister, the former war minister, he said, we need to call for a ceasefire. There is really no reason why we're fighting in Lebanon. He doesn't understand anything of it. Therefore, guys, from the very beginning, it was a big defeat for the Zionist state. And now we are seeing Netanyahu coming out, oh, I have approved the outline of a draft resolution to have a ceasefire with Hezbollah, is something very, very pathetic. The same guy who is a monster himself, who kills in women and children, who brags about his military, his ability. Remember, he said there is no place in Iran we cannot reach. Now the same guy is accepting defeat by saying, I have approved a ceasefire agreement with Hezbollah. On the other thing that on the other note, I also want to make mention of this, guys. The Western media mouthpiece who say all the time, we do not negotiate with terrorists. Remember, Hezbollah is a terrorist organization in the West. US have listed them as a terrorist organization. They do not negotiate with terrorists. Really? Right. We know. It is only when it is about Hamas. They do not negotiate with terrorists, means they do not negotiate with Hamas. But they do negotiate with terrorists. They do negotiate with Hezbollah, but not with Hamas. Why? Because Hamas is not like Hezbollah. They are not as big as Hezbollah. Nevertheless, the double standard is quite telling, and we all know about their double standard. Now, I have a report here that I want to actually share with you. So Hezbollah is back. Lebanese residents burn Israeli flag. So Lebanese civilians returned to their homes in southern Lebanon as celebrations erupted over Israel-Hezbollah ceasefire deal that was announced on Tuesday by U.S. President Joe Biden. The resident waved flags of Hezbollah, displayed pictures of its slain chief Hassan Nasrallah, and claimed a victory. There is another thing in this whole picture, and that is France. Recently, we have seen that France, they gave immunity to Netanyahu from the ICC arrest warrant. Why that happened? I don't personally trust France at all, because sometimes they will say, oh, we are going to be not giving any weapon to Israel. Remember a few days ago, Macron announced that they should be banned from receiving any weapon in order to end this conflict. He was talking about the Zionists, that the Zionists should have not received anything, any weapon, anything from the West. Why? Because one of his diplomats or journalists, I think, in Lebanon was killed or was attacked. I don't remember the exact story. But nevertheless, that was his position. That was France's position. We are going to put a arm embargo on Israel. This happened, that happened. And then all of a sudden you see these same people saying, oh, the Netanyahu, the government, oh, they're immune. Oh, no, we're not going to arrest them. Why that happened? Why they are doing this? Well, according to some report, it is because recently when they agreed to this ceasefire, and France was one of the negotiators, in addition to US, what I understand, behind closed doors, Netanyahu demanded from France immunity of his arrest. Because for Netanyahu, the arrest warrant was such a shame, such a disgrace, so embarrassing. So when France was negotiating for a ceasefire deal in Lebanon, remember, France has interest in Lebanon. They have a lot of people in Lebanon, and a lot of Lebanese are in also France. When they were in the process of negotiating, I personally think what happened is he called Macron, Netanyahu, and Netanyahu told him, you have to give me immunity because I'm looking absolutely embarrassing in front of the whole world. It is such a shame, and people do not respect me anymore. They don't fear me anymore. They think I'm a criminal. And so you have to give me immunity. If you do that, I will agree to a ceasefire. But nevertheless, some other reports suggest that Israel's situation was so bad already that a ceasefire was coming inevitably. But I just want to actually share this news with you guys. Anyways, some people on social media, they made mention of this double standard of France. So left 2023, France gives full support to the ICC upon warrants against Putin. Right today, France says Israel is immune to warrants because they are not part of ICC. Russia is not either. Cites friendship, quote unquote, between France and Israel, two Democrats committed to the rule of law. And we know what kind of rule of law they're talking about. These are all bogus. And so when you see these pictures, and somebody also on social media pointed out that when they were trying to reach a negotiation, a peace deal or a ceasefire deal, France was involved. And so Netanyahu told France, I need immunity if you want me to agree to a ceasefire. So this is how embarrassed he felt, Netanyahu. I mean, sometimes I do wonder if he has any shame. Looks like he does. I mean, only for himself, though. He doesn't have any shame committing genocide in Gaza. Don't get me wrong. But he feels a little bit embarrassed. Come on. People are calling me a criminal, and ICC is looking after me. Is chasing me and trying to capture me, apprehend me. No, that is not sitting well with him. And then you also have Gideon Levy, the journalist, talking about how devastating, what a defeat it was for the Zionist state. Now, what about Palestine? A lot of people have asked this question. What is going to be happening in Gaza after the ceasefire? This guy, his name is Mahmud Komati. He is the head of Hezbollah's, or deputy head of Hezbollah's political council. Now, what he said is basically very, in a very short statement. He did not elaborate on it. I do not know why. Maybe they will come up with more statements about what is happening in Gaza and how they will be standing with the people of Gaza. But this is what is coming on the news right now, that this guy, Mahmoud Komati, he said, turning to Gaza, Komati relayed messages of gratitude from Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad, recognizing Hezbollah's role in supporting the Palestinian resistance during its ongoing struggle. He reaffirmed that Palestine remains the central cause for the resistance, stating, quote, "We will never abandon Palestine." He added that further steps to back Palestinian efforts would be disclosed at an appropriate time. And that's about it. That's all you get from Hezbollah about what is happening in Gaza and how they will support the resistance force there. But we do not have more updates on this anymore. As I said, maybe they will make more statements in the coming days about how they are going to go about helping the people of Gaza from this ongoing genocide. I want you to take a listen a little bit more from this interview.
And being forced to accept the ceasefire is a major blow to Israel. They won't admit it, but it is a big blow to them.
So
we'll have to...
So in that case, sorry to interrupt you there, Rami, but in that case, I mean, Israel seems to believe that has been able to push Hezbollah. Obviously, it took out its leader and several of its leaders. And certainly the fact that this is taking place, for many Israelis, they view that as a sort of victory. But in that case, if it hasn't achieved its goals, then why sign up to a ceasefire agreement?
Well, it is a victory if you're in the business of mass murder, which is what the Israelis are doing. And they're just killing tens of thousands of people and leaders and ordinary people, civilians. Most of the people they're killing in Palestine and Lebanon are civilians. Most of them are women and children. But still, the Israelis feel they have hurt Hezbollah significantly to the point that it is not able to threaten Israel or damage Israel. That is a belief that has not been confirmed by actions on the ground. You need time to see that. Hezbollah clearly has taken a big hit, and they're able still, though, to fight and to reach the capital of Israel, or the main city.
So we know, so as you said there...
By the way, guys, if you do not know him, his name is Rami Khouri. He's a Lebanese. He's a professor, I believe, in the American University of in Beirut, in Lebanon. And this is what his assessment is, sitting in that country, knowing exactly what is happening or having connection with Lebanon directly. I'm not sure if he was interviewed. No, he was actually in Boston, in the States. But he's giving very accurate information, accurate details about what is happening in Lebanon, and that Israel, this is a major blow. They were not able to achieve any of their goals targets.
Hezbollah has seen a great hit. We're also seeing that this deal was organized and agreed between the Lebanese military, as well as the Israelis, of course, with the US involved, excluding Hezbollah. So how much authority or power does the Lebanese army actually have over Hezbollah in keeping it all in check from the Lebanese side? Because it's quite tricky, because the Lebanese are not going to fire on the Lebanese, are they?
No, they're not. And the army is not equipped to do that, and it's not politically able to do that. But at the same time, Hezbollah accepted the agreement. The agreement was with the Lebanese government, but it was worked out with Hezbollah. Hezbollah approved it. The fighting is between Hezbollah and Israel, not the Lebanese government and Israel.
Okay, so another thing that I just want to make mention quickly here, the ceasefire deal, it as I said, it is a victory for the resistance forces and a defeat for the Zionist forces. And this person, Rami Khouri, he's pointing out the reason there will be no fighting between Lebanese forces and Hezbollah is because this war was never about the people of Lebanon. They never targeted Hezbollah or Lebanese army. They are there to protect them. And the Israeli forces, when they entered into Lebanon, they did not enter to fight only Hezbollah, because you see they were killing hundreds, if not thousands, of Lebanese almost every day by doing these aerial bombardments. Therefore, the war was not between only Hezbollah and Zionist ITF forces, but also it is about the entire Lebanese population. It was against them. The other point he also mentioned is that even though Hezbollah, they have lost the leadership echelon of the organization, nevertheless, the reason they have achieved that kind of goal, the Zionist forces, is because they have committed mass murder. None of the killing of these Hezbollah leaders were precisely targeted avoiding civilian casualties. None of those. They killed hundreds and thousands of people in Lebanon, and among them were these leaders from Hezbollah. So they obviously cannot take credit. They cannot say, oh, these missile strike, they were precision guided on this or that. They just mass murdered the population of Lebanon, and in the process managed to kill some of the Hezbollah leaders. Hezbollah, even they have lost their leaders, including Nasrallah, but they are not going anywhere. They are as strong as they were ever before. They are going to be regrouping, what I understand, very, very soon, and this ceasefire time, 2 months, will allow them to learn from their mistakes, to come together again, as united as ever before and fight and be ready to fight against ITF. And again, as I said, my position is ITF, they're not going to go back to this war with Hezbollah again. At least for the next 3-4 years, I don't think they will fight Hezbollah because it is worthless. The only reason they were able to inflict maximum casualties and damages in Lebanon with the Lebanon population was because of the American bombs that they received, and they just dropped them sitting in the comfort of those fighter jets. I think this is, and I hope this is going to be the end of it. But with these Zionist monsters, you do not know what they are planning next, how they're going to be killing more people. We just do not know. But are they defeated? 100%. The diaper army is 100% defeated.